Hi, I'm Attorney General Aaron Ford, and I'm honored to be a part of the Southern Nevada Youth Homeless Summit. I'd like to thank the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth and Sands Care for putting on this summit not only this year, but for the past 4 years. I applaud you and your efforts, and I sincerely thank you for the important work you do each and every year. I stand before you today as Nevada's Attorney General, the top law enforcement officer for the state of Nevada. But I also stand before you humbly as Aaron Ford, having been on a journey to get to where I am today that hasn't been easy. My father, Larry, was a produce worker at a Safeway grocery store until the chain withdrew from Texas, where my family lived when I was young. My mother, Denise, worked many jobs throughout our childhood to help support our family. Growing up, our family spent many nights wondering if the gas, electricity, and water would turn on the next day. And I grew up in neighborhoods where a kid like me could easily fall through the cracks. But with the support of family, particularly my mother and my stepfather, and a school program called Project Upward Bound that helped me apply for college and pay for my application fee, I was able to seize one of the opportunities and another after another, and become eventually your Attorney General, holding 5 college degrees. Though I never experienced homelessness and won't purport to speak from experience, I can share that I wasn't raised with wealth or privilege. Youth homelessness is a complex issue which must be met with equally complex and well thought out solutions. We have to think of the factors that shape youth homelessness, and one that must be considered is what role race and racism plays. It's a statistical fact that people of color, and especially African Americans, experience homelessness much more than other groups. Here in Nevada, we're faced with one of the worst youth homelessness crises in the nation. Last year, we had the highest rate of youth homelessness in the entire nation, with 90 out of every 10,000 Nevada youth living on their own experiencing homelessness. We have to imagine why this is happening and what impact our justice system has on homelessness. Many of our homeless youth have criminal records before they turn 18, and involvement with the criminal justice system can seriously impact a youth's ability to be employed. As you might imagine, without employment, how can we expect our youth to make enough money to keep a place and afford lives? Many costs. Then we have other factors at play. The experience of homelessness in and of itself can lead to survival behaviors like stealing, squatting, or even trading sex for money, not to mention substance abuse and dependence, and even mental health problems. It's a vicious cycle. Adding to this is what I'll call the race equation. What are the factors contributing to the troubling statistics about people of color experiencing homelessness more than any other group? Having candid conversations about how race and racism impact these problems are critical. Some people believe racism doesn't exist or has no effect on homelessness, but it certainly is a part of the equation. Have candid conversations about race and racism. These conversations don't just start in the office or in a government building. Initiate them at home with your family and with your friends. We need to teach our children not to hate a person based off the color of their skin or a stereotype or an assumption that has been made over the years. In fact, we need to teach our children to help one another from a very young age and to look at one another as friends, as colleagues, and as partners. From a very young age, my wife and I have had conversations with our sons. We try to teach them about justice, love, and respect. We need to invest in solutions and strategies that address what's driving youth homelessness and see how we can build stronger networks. So many of our youth experiencing homelessness are young parents trying to establish a life for themselves and their children. We need to think about how we can support these youth in gaining stable employment to earn money so that they can not only afford housing, but continue to support their families. It's not just about attending to immediate housing needs. We need to truly invest in their futures. We're here today to advance the movement to end youth homelessness in our community. And we can all be a part of the solution in many ways. Let me close by saying this. This year is perhaps the most challenging yet. In addition to the global health crisis, where we're all worried about our health and the health of our futures and our families and our friends, we're also experiencing a global hit on our finances and on our funding. More people are without housing. More people are struggling to put food on the table. Rest assured that the state of Nevada is doing everything in its power to attend to your needs and provide you with resources. We are in this together through the good and the challenging times. To local youth who are struggling and experiencing homelessness, this last message is to you. I wouldn't be where I am today without having champions in my corner. My mom was my champion. Project Upward Bound was my champion. And later in life, my wife, Berna, became my champion. If you're struggling with homelessness, racism, reduced opportunity, or whatever it may be, let me be your champion. Let my story be your champion. The American dream doesn't come easy, but I promise you, it is achievable. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of today's summit. It's truly an honor to be a part of such an impactful event. Thank you.